Welcome to Art is Human, a podcast where we explore the artistic journey, one unique and everyday perspective at a time. We'll talk about where we've been and what we've accomplished, what we're working on right now, and what we're looking forward to. Whether you're still finding your voice in medium or you're already a seasoned pro, this podcast is for you. Be reminded that by the very definition of art, your humanity makes you an artist. I'm your host, Steph Sharkey Schultz, with 15 plus years of expertise across multiple market verticals and creative mediums. Let's dive in and get inspired. Corey Powell, aka Ratarue, is a prominent hip-hop artist in Austin, Texas, who's been making waves on the radio and on stages all over the United States. His streams get many thousands of views and he's captured the attention of several media outlets. Today we'll chat about music, life, where he wrote his first rap, and get to know the rest of his story too. Welcome back to the To Art is Human podcast. I'm your host, Steph Sharkey Schultz, and with us this evening is Corey Powell, aka Ratarue.
What's up? What's up? Thank you for having me. Thank you, Sharky.
You're doing so many amazing things. You've accomplished so much. I want to hear more about that story. I've been curious about that.
So on UT campus, there's like a park area called the Res. And that was actually the first place where I wrote my first professional rap. I recorded with some friends from high school and actually signed off on the verse when I was a minor. I think I was like 16 years old. So they didn't give me the whole contract. They just gave me the part that I needed to sign, and it was ripped on the corner. And so I signed off. So that was my first like professional experience. I don't know what happened to the song. I don't know what I was signing. But anyway, that was my first and that was when I was 16 years old.
Wow.
And so this was like during when I was trying to be like a professional soccer player or whatever, or make it in soccer. And so I got like a full scholarship to a junior college. And
That's cool.
So that's when I kind of like let the music stuff that I was doing with my friends go to the wayside. And during that process, though, I came back a couple of times, and there was a group called Big Game Hunters. And
cool name.
Yeah, my friend Mimi introduced me to the lead rapper, and I think there was a time. So I ended up like freestyling for the dude. You know, he came out of the back and he was like chilling, and I just started rapping for him. And he was like, "Oh, this is cool. Come by the rehearsal." And so I went by the rehearsal spot and was just freestyling my parts. And he was like, "Dude, this is awesome." And he had me sign a contract on the spot. And then the guys that I was rapping with, you know, that I signed the other contract with, they heard that I was getting down with this other group and they weren't having it. So it was more like, yeah, that was like my crew. So I ended up, you know, and I was just like, well, I'm about to go to junior college, so it's not a big deal. So I went to junior college, and then after that went to pursue soccer like at a bigger you know, arena or whatever. And then after that, the soccer experience, that I moved to Washington, D.C. to go to Howard for a period of time. And then that's where I met my friend Artemis. And
oh, cool. You guys go way back.
Yeah. And then he's a very cool guy. And then I met like a lot of like really cool people. I actually met Frenchie Davis, who was I think she won America's Got Talent or something like that, or got like top 3. Yeah. So she's like an amazing person, and I met like somebody from the real world, and I met all these like really cool people. But I ended up dropping out of Howard because of depression. So I was really, yeah. So
that's really it can be crippling. I have get
wrapped
with it.
And so I kind of locked myself. I locked myself in my bedroom for about 3 years. And every day I would write music, record music, freestyle. And I just concentrated on building my craft, because I was like, well, you have to put in the same work ethic as you did for soccer.
Yeah.
So um, after that, then I was like, okay, I think I'm good. Ended up getting 100 CDs pressed from Affordable Sounds. And then I just started walking around the neighborhood trying to sell CDs.
That's
And
so
then
cool. How old were
mhm,
you during that time?
I don't really remember, like maybe 1920s, something like
So
that.
young. Wow.
Yeah. And then my mom was working like two jobs, sometimes three.
Man,
She would work as a for the GLO, the General Land Office. So she worked for the state, and then she
cool.
worked at IHOP Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays. So she would work all day Thursday. Then at night she would go to IHOP and work all night. Then she would go back to work at the GLO. Then that night she would work, and she would like take small naps in the bathroom. She was basically killing herself.
Oh my
And
God.
then there's this mail service that would give her like, so she would stuff envelopes for these mail outs. So she was just
Oh man.
insane at the time. But I would get rides with her to IHOP on the weekends. So I would work on stuff, and then I would go around and try to sell CDs on Sixth Street, Cesar Chavez, stuff like that.
Oh, right
And
on.
in the process, I mean, I met a lot of ne'er do wells and weirdos and stuff like that. But I did meet some musicians, and I ended up getting in a band that had this like really amazing singer by the name of Candace Jackson.
Oh
And
yeah.
so it was like a live band with guitars and horns and drums and all this stuff. And I would get up. So she would do her verses, and then I would do like a rap during like the bridge or whatever.
It's cool.
And then I took that opportunity to do as much as I could so I can learn about the music industry. So I would um, whenever like the band leader needed t-shirts done or logo designs done or CDs pressed, or I would get posters made and I would hang them up around town. I would hand out flyers, and so I was really like, that was like my college was that band. And
Cool.
so later we ended up doing a contest that Sony was throwing,
Oh,
and
cool.
we ended up winning the contest. And the contest was for studio time at the Sony studios in Dallas, I think. And we never the band, I think, broke up then, or maybe they went and did it. There was a couple of times it was kind of shisty. So there was like a
Oh.
Republican convention,
Oh, wow.
and they approached the band and they were like, "Oh, we love this band, y'all. They're so soulful and beautiful. We like everything but the hip hop element."
Oh, brother. What the?
So they ended up doing like this really big gig, but they're like, that guy can't go. So it was just like, but it was a lot of that. It was a lot of stuff like that. Excuse my language.
No, man.
Yeah,
It's
and
please
yeah,
permission
yeah.
to
So
speak freely.
so
I'm
anyway,
sorry.
so
That's such a disappointment.
yeah, yeah. So Candace wanted to sound more like pop music.
Oh
So
yeah.
she wanted to go a different direction. We were kind of like this, laid back jazz with like a little
Oh
sprinkle
yeah.
of this and that and the third. So
Which I really like about
afterwards,
your work a lot.
thank you, thank you. And
Yes.
then after that, then the members from that band wanted to keep working with me. So there was another band that was formed, and then we ended up signing like a small deal out of New England, and
Cool.
we did a East Coast tour, but we didn't go like hella east, but it was awesome. We were a touring band.
Boy, that's exciting.
So I mean, building it's always been weird, and I don't know like what it's based on, but me having an alias and pushing myself as an alias is when I was younger was kind of a superpower. You kind of get to hide behind a persona that you're trying to create. But there are some times now that I mean I've put in so much work, like studying music theory and writing,
Wow,
that I'm
yeah.
sort of like, dude, I kind of wish that I was just going by my real name. And then also too, it's like whenever I submit stuff, and people always butcher the alias. They can never pronounce it properly. So I'm just like, dude, I'm 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 not quite there yet, but and also too, it's like I've been doing the Ratarue thing for so many years. Like
How are
there's
they
videos.
mispronouncing Ratarue? How are they mispronouncing that?
The last thing that happened was there was a guy that was holding a live stream. So you would email him your instrumental or song, and he would play it and then give advice or say something and this, that, and the third. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Because he had like, 20,000, whatever. So I sent it,
Followers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I sent it to him. And he was like, this next song is by Rapture, Rature. Like, dude, and I even spelled it in the email phonetically. And I was just thinking, like, maybe he just doesn't want to like give any free platform kind of stuff. So that's why it's just like, because if it's bad, he's going to talk about it a lot. It's like, hey, dude, this needs to be mixed. This needs to be this, that, and the third. But it's like, because you listen to the song, you listen to Steam. I sent him Steam, and I'll send you the video. I'll send you the video of him because I did like a screen capture.
Oh
But it was this
man.
dude. He was just like smoking a blunt, and so the song came on, and he started like vibing out. He's like, you know, but he mispronounced. He's like, yeah, that's not bad. But he just didn't like, dude. It's I spelled it for him like Ratarue. It's not that difficult, but it's just been
No.
over the years, over and over and over and over again, like people not being able to pronounce it, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know. I'm just getting mad old, and it's just like, but also too, it's just like, how weird would it be if I'm me and I'm pushing myself? Like it's just kind of a weird. I don't know. It's like Clark Kent versus Superman. It's just like a
Yeah.
a lot easier to throw on the persona and be the persona and then put that out there. But I don't know. I mean, building an audience is not easy. So, you know.
It's not, and getting people to, take you seriously when, there's three
Hmm.
people following you. Oh, I want to be over there. There's only
Yeah.
three people. It's like such a,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like that one social experiment that was conducted, but they set this pop-up shop up in a mall, and they
Hmm.
took things from like the discount rack and put them
Hmm.
on display like they were special and marked them up to $300 and $400, and
Oh,
and people,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
yuppies were coming in like, oh, this is the best stuff I've ever
Right.
seen.
Absolutely. It's just how people feel about certain things, and
Yeah.
that's like the hard part with yeah, because I mean, like whenever I left those other bands, it's like all the people, like there's certain people that were just invested in that band, and being able to like cater to those people or find those people, and it's a difficult skill, dude. It's difficult. It's difficult making that transition, and then also too, you're competing with major labels. Like major labels aren't. I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, and then in the as far as like the Rataroo thing, like there's videos on YouTube like 17 years old, and it's crazy because it was like my friends from high school that I was with. Like I had a falling out with them.
I'm so
So
sorry. I
yeah,
hate
so all
falling
my
outs.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So it's like,
so
but
heavy.
all my friends from high school, it's like it's sort of like fashionable to not support me. And then the band with Candace Jackson, it's like, okay, that ended. So it's kind of fashionable for those people not to like. And then it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like whenever things end, and chalk that up to me not having whatever as far as being a personal person. But
It's
like,
such a crapshoot. It is such a game of
well,
chance and luck
yeah.
and who you
Well,
know.
I mean, soccer, it's like you get on the field and you have to get a result. And then
Yeah,
people are gonna like deal with you who you are because of what you're doing on the soccer field. But music, there's so much like people want to
subjective.
know. Yeah, people want to know who you are, and people want to get into your brain and relate to you. But me, I'm just a hard worker, dude. Like I've been for the last few months just writing.
Amazing.
Some people sit down and they'll write their verse, and it'll take them 5 minutes, and they'll spit it, and then they'll go on stages and do this and that and the third, and they'll tour off of. But for me, it takes like 4.5 months to write a verse sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
and I'm
same.
thinking,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I go sometimes years without, like, I was extremely burned out for 8 or 9 maybe 10 months. Like this brand, this award-winning brand, I pitched in Vegas at an international expo with
Hmm.
hundreds and hundreds and thousands of attendees, and pitched to a judge panel. It was like C-level, people, and
Yeah. And they
and won a
didn't.
contest, and I won a booth and then never got to use it because I got laid off, and agents
Jeez.
wouldn't sign me because I didn't have a million followers yet. And
Yeah.
sorry, but tell me why it makes sense that by the time I would go viral and would be well to do and have this whole thing built up. Why would I need you then?
That's the only time that they'll get involved. When it's not, when you're just like, I don't need you.
And
That's when people jump on.
how am I supposed to build a following and an audience when the minute I post my art, it's on somebody's Amazon t-shirt in another country?
My thing is that with that, and this is kind of like, kind of the hip hop perspective, but they were thinking, somebody pointed out like the whole movement of the bootleggers. So,
Oh,
there's a time
yeah.
when it was a time when people would walk down the street and then there'd be CDs upon CDs upon CDs on sale. And, a lot of there'd be videos of musicians or rappers, and they would be like grabbing these people's stuff and throwing them on the street and pissed off that they were doing it. But then they were like, in retrospect, they should have just let it be because it's a form of promotion.
It
So maybe,
is.
so
Grateful
maybe
Dead
for
knew
you,
this. Grateful
yeah,
Dead knew
right,
this.
right. So maybe for you, even though they're using your art and putting on their shirt, maybe just try to finesse the situation and keep going and just build the audience and just do it yourself. Because I mean, that's the thing. Like my dad put me up to like me writing my own music. And I
Mhm.
was just like, dude, you don't get it. Like hip hop is about sampling and this, that, and the third. And the most important entity in hip hop is the DJ. And
Mm.
that's why we sample and this, that. And then I was just like, okay, let me, and then I started writing my own music, and it's opened up a whole like different world for me. And that's literally DIY. And now
Yeah.
I'm super proud. It's like the song team that we did together. I'm super proud of that. It's our song.
Yeah.
Like I didn't sample the drums from this person. I didn't sample a guitar riff from this person. There's nobody involved in that song but me and you. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yes.
maybe the
That's
people
cool.
that, well, me and you and obviously Slope.
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
thing
right
is
on.
like, but and then you have the people that did the mixing and mastering and all that other stuff, and then the artwork by Glory Gold and Glitter, and so there's different people involved, but it's an original work. It didn't exist before we did it, and I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and so like with the sample based stuff, it's like you're kind of jumping on, like even like vibe or spiritually. Whenever I sample a song, it's like you're sampling something from a vinyl record, which already has like this great,
Oh,
like
yes.
I love sampling music. Don't get me wrong, but creating something from nowhere and then it a tangible thing, that's
That's
pretty
powerful.
awesome, man. I'm
It's
glad.
powerful.
Yeah, I'm glad to be able to. And then my song "Spit Blooms." I want to say this: the musicians that I'm working with Glossolali Online, they did a rendition of "Spit Blooms." And so, like, I was rapping my lyrics for Spit Blooms, but also I was rapping over a beat that these profound musicians were reinterpreting something that I wrote.
The garden is wise and sage and sadist. Adjusting glove adorably drooping in flowers aided. The soul that once rolled now measured lost in relic time. The dead head's flowers. People leave a garden, soulfully discern. She's the yellow rose that I hopefully earn. Hunger queen stibbled in discretion, a sensible.
Like, so I wrote that
Cool.
instrumentation that inspired these musicians to take the parts that they heard and make it their own,
Oh,
but
it's
it's
so
still
beautiful.
Spin Blooms. Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't be here. Like, I wouldn't, like, there's,
This is a good
songs.
jam. This is a good gig.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And there's songs like meditations that come from me chopping up records. And then, I would chop up just like a one bass note, and then I wrote the bass line from the sampled bass note, and then they took that and made it their own. But
So
it's
cool.
like it's cool still, but like the thing with Spit Blooms that trips me out is that it's a weird song. It's some weirdo rap shit, but it never existed until until it existed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no derivative. The only derivative is music theory. It's like I came up with like, okay, well, my voice is in this register, and so let me write around my voice. And then in the song with Steam, that comes from your vocal register. It's like I record. You had the vocal things. Oh, the lava lamps are lava lamping.
Are they doing that?
They're doing their thing. they're, the
Yes.
lava lamps are
What
lava
did I
lamping.
say? What did I
Yeah.
say? 45
It,
minutes. Was I right or
yeah,
was I right?
you're right. You're right. It looks like aliens in there. But yeah, I'm stoked to get the lava lamps going. That's gonna add a different like.
My Himalayan salt lamps can't compete with your lava lamps.
And then I have another lava lamp back here, and I turned it on, and it's not doing anything.
It's
It's just
not.
it's just
I
a
knew you had a
glob.
couple, yeah.
It's a sad, yeah. So I ended up getting one red one and one blue one, but the blue one was like hella dark and it didn't
Oh
do
yeah.
anything. So I went back and got another one to match. So yeah.
Now I've gotta know.
Anyway, I'm super stoked. I mean, I always think about like what I'm leaving behind in the world, and Legend of the Gatling Tongue is on vinyl, and although all that production is all original compositions, and I wish that I didn't rush the project, but Steam, Spent Blooms, if I ever put that stuff on vinyl, then I'll be stoked, dude. I'll be
Yes.
stoked.
That day is
Yeah.
coming. That day is coming.
I hope so. I mean, that would be cool, like two cool 45s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Limited edition print of like a
yeah.
500 or something max.
Yeah.
However
Absolutely.
much that costs these days. I would wait for production costs to go down, supply chain to have another year of healing.
Well, the first project that I'm thinking about pressing is That Greater Good. I'm thinking about
Yeah.
getting that pressed. So I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like stuttering, but it is a lot of money. It is a lot of money to press vinyl.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I can literally only imagine. I had CDs made once. I used to press my own
Hmm.
CDs.
Hmm.
I had a printer. I had a Canon Pixma or some variety, very large, uh, beautiful machine actually, and it had the
Yeah.
capability of. Well, I bought blank CDs, like blank,
Hmm.
completely blank, not just data wise, but like
Yeah.
the
Like the
actual print,
actual.
the design.
Okay.
So the
Cool.
album cover looks
Ooh,
too much glare.
nice.
I'm not sure
Oh,
if
I've seen. Yeah. So you
you've
had
seen it. Yeah.
CDs. Yeah, I've seen the artwork of that,
Yeah.
but I didn't know you had CDs made. Because
I had
I have your comic book, but I don't have your music.
I had CDs made. I then made some myself. I did a little
Hmm.
bit of everything. I had them in some of the local music stores that would let me, and otherwise worldwide streaming. And I sold them at my booths whenever I had my
Hmm.
comic and I was doing signings. I would have it playing with me at the tables.
Jack of all
Creator,
trades. I mean, I would love to be an artist and just make art, but like life is just
it's
it's
expensive.
it's expensive. It's cruel. It doesn't care. I would get money and then I would like
Yeah.
press CDs or do posters or something. So it was like, okay, cool. I kind of see what the vibe is like. You get a job and then you can like buy a new pair of like shoes or something. Work smarter, not harder. Kind of.
Yeah. That's
And I was
that's
like,
it.
I was coming from soccer, and I was like, no, you got to grind out. You got to, you know what I mean? So I went back to work solely because I wanted to shoot Time Heals a Broken Heart.
Oh yeah.
That was
Right
the only
on.
reason. And it was like during COVID, I just felt like I really needed to release an album at that time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I need to record this album. I want to press vinyl tapes, CDs. I found this amazing artist, a visual artist, and I want to shoot the music video on 16 millimeter. And I ended up taking the money from the second collections job or the student loans collections job,
Right.
taking
I get it.
so I threw thousands of dollars at that project. And I literally have so many records in my closet, so many cassette tapes in my, t-shirts and all that. because I pressed so much of it. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, dude.
I
Uh
looked into it for Houston. Busking is legal. You just go to a park, you get your own sound system, charge it up,
huh.
get a microphone, play your music, have a little table. I think you're allowed to sell merchandise. I don't think you're allowed to ask for tips. I think that's the
Okay.
stipulation. Look
It's
into it.
called it's called
Busking.
busking.
Busking. Life is just a continuous, adjustment, readjustment, change being the only constant. And I
Yeah,
think, if an equation isn't working, you change the variables, change it out,
yeah.
if
The
something was
bigger
working.
the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. I'm blessed, dude. I'm blessed. But I need to change the conversation for myself. And the only way that I can do that is just like, and I've been working on the music for like 3 years. So I was just like, I just need to do this. And so I was just like, okay, I'm going to record it to 2 inch tape. And then I'm going to release vinyl and I'm going to shoot a badass 16 millimeter video.
It was
And I
so
don't,
good.
and I don't care what it takes to do it. And I did it. And went on a small tour for it, and
So cool.
yeah, it was cool. It was like Austin, San Antonio, Louisiana, Washington, and then New York. It was cool, man. The Washington D.C. show was badass, but that was because Artemis promoted it well. That was cool. Gotta hustle. Gotta hustle.
I've
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
find a way to hustle harder. I need to do more cold calling. I need to do more brainstorming. I
You
just
know
need to
what?
be doing something more, but it's so hard to like
It's
get myself to
crazy.
move.
The two things that I admire about you is that you are not afraid of rejection.
Ugh,
And you put yourself out there and you're fearless. Like just the way that you go about stuff. And I'm like, oh, that, you post the craziest stuff. Like, I'm doing this and I'm here. And it's like, damn, dude, that's crazy. And the way that you put yourself out there it's very inspiring.
is
Um,
that the nighttime zip lining or the
just
skiing?
yeah, just all the crazy stuff. And I'm like, dude, if I would put myself out there like Steph, dude, I'd be like way farther along because I don't do that. I don't do that at all.
Am I
Like I'm
famous
super,
yet? I mean,
yeah, dude. You don't think you are? You don't think that you are?
no.
No. Oh well, then you have a bigger idea of what famous is, I guess. I would say you're pretty. Yeah, you're out there, dude. You don't think you're
Yeah.
famous? I don't
No.
know.
I mean, I've been recognized in public once or twice for the Mr. Guy comic because I'm in it.
Hmm.
That was interesting. It was in the greater Houston area, of course, because that's I think where I had the maximum saturation here. Thank you for the encouragement. I appreciate it.
I do recognize like you're definitely somebody that puts themselves out there. I mean, I mean, we were part of that article with the that Australia publication thing,
That was cool.
and yeah. So on my like, you know, I don't know with my analytics. Sometimes I get some love from Australia. That's pretty crazy. You know what I mean?
I
And that's definitely got to spill over to you. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, dude, you say you're not famous, but you got an IMDb site. What are you talking about?
I mean,
Dude. I'm looking for your website, and all I see is like all this badass stuff. Dude, you're famous. I'm sorry, dude. That's crazy. I'm about to do another promo for Steam,
oh
so
yeah.
that should garner. Yeah, I'm kind of tired of doing promos for these things, but
Yeah. No, you know what you need to do? Like take a break if you need it because you will
mhm.
burn yourself out more.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like that's what's going to separate the. I'm always like sports analogy thing. It's like whatever is going to, that's what's going to separate you from everybody else is like getting to burnout and trying to go beyond burnout.
It's
That's
illegal.
crazy. But what are you doing creatively? Like
This
nothing?
basically. This is
Okay. Well,
huge.
this
This
is
is great.
this is this is a big deal though.
This
Your
is.
your idea is good. You're creating a platform for other people. Dude, I was thinking about finagling cat videos to bring more attention to my music.
You did. You
I'm
did
think
successfully because you did the
no,
cat
well
with the
the
train and you did
yeah
spin.
the
I was like, that was
but
smart.
but whenever I see like any train related thing, I'm like
Yeah.
Steam related thing or
Toot toot.
Yeah. It's cool. It's fun. It's crazy though. It's like, oh, okay, let me get a film crew. Let's rent this green screen studio. Let's put all this stuff together. And then, oh, we're gonna get beat out by the cat videos. Yeah. Hardcore.
That's the key. That's the ticket, is creating enough content consistently enough.
Mm-hmm.
That is the key.
Yeah.
Between certain times of day, on certain days, daily if possible. My thing with Honey Bumble was I couldn't post enough content before it was getting stolen, or I just.
Are you able to trademark the image so even if it does get stolen, you're still in ownership of it?
It doesn't, because you need a lawyer to enforce it, which is way more expensive. It's already expensive enough. It's like to copyright 10 images, it's $80+.
Uh-huh.
And then if you want to trademark something, that's another ball of wax. That's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
It's more like a brand that you're trademarking. But
even if you spend the $80 to copyright those images, you still can't enforce the copyright without an attorney.
They're not going to listen to you unless you have a lawyer do a takedown request. It'd be hundreds. I had a pro bono who negotiated a coexistence agreement for me, which was fantastic. Because I was getting bullied by a company for no reason. There was no likelihood of confusion in commerce. No.
What do you mean they were bullying you? What do you mean they were bullying?
Woman-owned, eco-friendly brand that was doing nothing to harm them. Or
holy shit, that's crazy.
I'm like, I'm over here doing an eco-friendly thing, putting little cartoons and comics out for kids, and what is your problem?
Right, that's crazy. The people that I shot the music video from was a team of women.
Cool.
And they are badasses. And I didn't hire them because they're a team of women. I hired them because their work was amazing. But I mean, she posts rejection letters all the time, and I was like, man, this is sort of what like Stephanie goes through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, women empowerment, strength in numbers. You know, I was raised by a single Black woman, so like. I just know, like, it's up out here. I'm sorry.
No, man, why are you apologizing? This has been such a success.
But you got hours and hours and hours of editing to do now. So,
yeah. You know, there will be more discussions in the future. I intend to invite friends back as just a progress thing. Like, you know, having worked in reality television, they'll have episodes where they shoot what's going on, and then they'll come back and they'll do another episode about like where we are now, you know. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, and sometimes it's fabricated, and that's fine. It's television.
Yeah. All right, well, definitely you are now part of the dad joke what do you call it,
collective.
Yeah, the Dad Joke Collective, for sure. But yeah, I had a really good time talking to you. I'm looking forward to the episodes, and I will definitely promote the hell out of it for sure.
It's been wonderful having you on the show. I look forward to future sessions. Have an amazing evening, and talk to you again soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, folks, thanks for listening. Our main points today, for your convenience, were to get started, even if you don't know what you're doing yet, and be open to collaboration and travel. Self-promotion is essential. There's no shame in hard work. We're not here forever. Take care of yourself. We experience burnout and the blues sooner or later, but sometimes our low points can inspire and develop us. Whether or not you go by your own name or an alias has a big impact. Picking something easy to remember and pronounce that isn't already taken sounds impossible, right? Well, share your thoughts in the comments below. It's hard to gain a following when many folks are shallow and accept only what's trending. But who wants flakes anyway? Keep putting the work out there, be authentic, and do what you love because you love it. And you will eventually attract a core, loyal audience. Some people are just trying to figure themselves out. Give folks the benefit of the doubt and just keep being you. Take the Grateful Dead approach. Let your work loose and whatever happens, happens. Your work doesn't exist until you create it. That's power. Side note, it is worth setting some money aside to copyright and trademark. It's called doing your due diligence. There are lots of things you can do to protect your work, but ultimately, just being the first and the fastest to create something is the best defense against plagiarism, infringement, and all other manner of unpleasantry out there. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Like, subscribe, share, and engage with us on social media so we can continue making great content. And if you think anyone would enjoy being the next interviewee, feel free to share the show with them. If you would appreciate the perspective of an award-winning brand designer, a fine artist whose work has been featured in galleries from coast to coast in the United States, a recording artist and singer-songwriter, a cult classic comic book creator, and a filmmaker with credits on projects with industry giants like Paramount, Visa, the BBC, and more, I would love to work with you. Book a consultation today, and let's find out what your art is.